3, 2, 1. Welcome to Breaking Balance. Redefining work, success, and life balance for all sales and marketing professionals. They are international speakers and coaches straight out of Jersey and the home of Spark Tank Media. Here is your host and co-host, Jeff Lobb and Nikki Brand.
All right. Hey, we're back. Another Breaking Balance. This is our first episode of the year. It's Jeff Lobb, Nikki Brand.
Hi.
And it's our first of the year. Kicking us off.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. You know, and so many people are like, it's an amazing New Year. It's like, it's just another day. Like we just rolled into the next level of,
Right.
Great.
We went from one week to the next.
But
it does feel like a happy New Year in the sense that there's this big relief from so many of us that this 2020 burden is behind us, literally. Like it's done. It's in the past now. We can say we survived it. We came out on the other side. So, there are a lot of friends out there who feel like this happy New Year, like there's this newness that really does feel a bit different, even though we're only like a day later, a week later, but there's something different right now. There's a different feel.
We need it. Oh, well, look, let's face it. It's a lot of our days are mental games, right? It's all mental. So whatever it takes to get us past that is half our battle. And, I think it kind of leads into some of our topic of discussion today, which I think is a really good one. And I hope you guys really appreciate this one. We're titling it Simplify. Simplify.
Simplify. I love the sound of it. I love the feel of it. I love the meaning of it. Jeff and I went back and forth talking about what really is inspiring about this new year and to get us going with a topic that feels fresh and not stale and not like, new year, you, all that bullshit. Like we wanted to talk about the realness of, life and balance and work and family and everything. And we broke it down to simply simplify. Simplify. So Jeff, start off for us what you see it as, what you feel it as.
If you looked at our calendar, if you looked at our schedule, if you looked at the hectic pace, not only of just work, but life of after work and before work, it's overwhelming as hell. Like it's just, there's days I stare at it and go, I see all these color codes now. We're all color coded in scheduling.
Agita.
It's like holy crap.
Big time.
So I think by default, this is like needed for us. I mean, this is why we're doing this. This is us too. So I had to look at like our day and I'm like, all right, how do we simplify this? Like, how do I just like look at the day and like each appointment has to be a focus because if, that person on the other end is expecting my full attention, they're expecting my best. When we go home, our kids want our best. Our spouse wants our best. And it's like really hard to do. So sometimes I think what triggered this was we were looking at the calendar. It was like 2:45 in the afternoon.
Right.
And somebody was talking about tomorrow. And I'm like, I got 3 more appointments tonight. I'm simplify. Just what am I doing right now?
Right.
I could be my best.
Right.
And I just, separated that because not that I don't prepare for tomorrow. I can't think about it right now. So I had to simplify my schedule to minutia of this is what I need to do right now.
Right.
Simple. Focus on that.
Right. Which that focus, when you can hone in on one thing, also allows us to be more present and to be where we're at. So often we are kind of like the circle with everything going around us really, really fast. And we get pulled in all those directions and we forget like what we were doing in the first place.
Right.
Right. So when you're looking at your simplifying of your calendar, let's start there. So many of us out right now are thinking, oh my God, that stressful calendar that can bring on anxiety, right?
Yeah.
Looking at your calendar.
100%.
And so we need to talk a little bit about how do we simplify the calendar? How do we make it so when we wake up, we're not getting anxiety about the entire week, right? We're not, because there is such a thing as we got to prepare for the week. We got to prepare for what we need to do, but we also need to be in that moment of our day.
Yep.
And to not get so overwhelmed by everything of our day that we can just, how would you simplify your calendar knowing that yours is packed?
It's packed.
It's packed.
Well, we're all packed, but look, I think what has to happen is, I think where the anxiety and stress comes in is when we wake up and we're rushed. We're
Totally.
chasing, and look, it's going to happen
From the
by
moment
default.
we open our eyes.
Chasing it.
Right.
So I force myself to get up earlier. I force myself to, I don't care if it's 15 minutes early. Like, we all get up early. It's a question of what you do when you get up early. So I take my first cup of coffee and I look at that calendar and mentally prepare of like, all right, what do I need to do? Who needs what out of me?
Right.
Because our job is to help and serve and
Mhm.
help move people. So if we can't get our own head straight, we got a problem.
Mhm.
So I use that time like to just sit and think.
Mhm.
And it's usually earlier is quiet time for me because my family's not early birds. I don't know about yours. You guys are early birds?
I'm the early bird,
Yeah.
but my husband is too, honestly, now. And I have found, I completely agree with you that now that my kids sleep in a little bit, if I choose to wake up earlier,
Mhm.
15 minutes,
Yep.
an hour, like for me, I've got to incorporate some sort of fitness in the morning. If it doesn't happen in the morning,
Not
it does
happening.
not happen.
Right.
I am not a nighttime fitness person. I'm not an afternoon fitness person. It's when I get up.
Yeah. Well, good for you.
And I've got to do it. Now, it's like, it's stressful for me. The guilt I feel I put on myself, I don't do it. So an hour, a half hour, whatever it is. Now, it's hard. This is hard stuff, but it does actually help simplify your day. If you give yourself that time in the morning, I can tell you guys listening, 15 minutes
15, 20 minutes max.
just to do it. To get, the hardest part is getting out of bed.
Yeah.
It's the hardest part. You're cozy, it's warm, you're scrolling through your phone, it's quiet, right? But next thing you know, an hour goes by and then you're like, oh shit, here I am. I'm behind. I got to hop in the shower. Oh, great. Now I'll do your first appointment, and it's not worth it. So simplifying your life can start with your morning.
That's right.
How do you change your morning routine to make your life easier for the rest of the day?
That's right.
Right?
And we talk about by 9 o'clock. I mean, even if you don't have kids, you get have pets or animals, whatever.
Right.
But even sometimes by 9 o'clock, your day is already shot.
Oh my
Mentally,
God.
you're burnt.
So
you're
much-
going out the door
So much to do.
and you're like, holy cow, I haven't even started my day. And mentally, I'm
Right.
wrecked. Right.
Right.
So, I think you have to figure out how to use, like we talk about compartmentalizing stuff
Yes.
too, but we simplify things that we know it's always going to go off the rails. One of the things we have to understand is I've already accepted that change is going to happen every day.
Mhm.
Something's going to change on me every day. I know it and I accept it. I just have to roll with it. So by simplifying this stuff, it also helps me prepare for when things go off the rails. I already know what I have to do in that appointment. So when I do get to that appointment, I'm prepared.
Right.
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 Because I already thought it through. Because I will get rushed. I will get pushed. I'll get diverted.
Mm-hmm.
But since I already thought about it this morning,
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what I got to do. So when it snaps and it's showtime and we
Yeah,
got to talk,
right,
we got to
right.
go, I know what I'm doing.
Right.
I feel better. At least I know what I'm doing. Versus like, holy crap, I got to push the button or I got a meeting.
Being
my slide, whatever it
behind,
is.
being behind
Oh,
is
terrible.
such a stressful feeling.
Yes.
And it really, I hate clutter. I hate clutter. And a decluttering of the mind is just as good as decluttering your office, is just as good as decluttering your bedroom. Like it just, the more things add up around you, and I'm guilty of it, especially like in some spaces where I can't think unless things are decluttered. So if we're talking about simplifying, decluttering is a big part of that. Can you walk into your office? Unless, of course, you are a type of person that loves clutter. If that works for you, awesome.
No.
But if you're not if you don't like how it makes you feel, trust me, take this coming Monday to clean your office. Declutter yourself will help simplify your life. Your paper will be where you need it to be. Your all the coffee cups that are sitting on my goddamn desk will be in the garbage. Like those type of things are annoying, and it honestly causes me anxiety. And I know so many people out there just don't take that small time to get their shit cleaned. And then you realize, okay, wait a second here. I feel better. I can breathe better. Why? The
It's
space
a
is
feeling of
different.
accomplishment. Like you feel like you
Yes.
did something. It's like when
Right.
people say, make your bed in the morning. Like that
Yes.
feeling of getting,
Yes.
I get it. But, we struggle to
Mhm.
do it. It's the little things that we, need to simplify and kind of do that stuff.
Right. But it does help, right?
It's 100%. I mean, I think, as we get into the day, it helps your mindset get a little fresh.
Right.
Because we've seen just about everything thrown at us in the past year or so. Right?
Mhm.
And I think the hardest part most people have, and we kind of said the word and I kind of twisted a little bit, is that compartmentalize, right?
Right.
Some people will ask me this question too, like, Jeff, how do you like when it's time to like, deliver a presentation or when you're going to go on a stage or whatever that is, how do you like flip the switch? And I said, well, you learn to like flip the switch in anything we do, because like I was on a Zoom call 2 weeks ago. 10 minutes before that call, my phone rings from my son with a major injury, like going to the hospital,
stressful,
like it all upset.
Right.
And I'm like, so
dad mode, total dad mode,
100%. And I've got to be like mentally like,
right,
holy crap,
right.
I got to be there. But in the same moment, the other people on the other side in 10 minutes, not that they don't care, they're expecting me to deliver what I promised.
Right. Absolutely.
So how do I decompartmentalize? And I'm not sure if it's something we practice. I think it's just an awareness. So right away, when I got out of dad mode, I had to get out of dad mode real quick. And I said, okay, I got to help him. So I made 2 quick phone calls. He was already being taken care of. It wasn't like I had to run, but 2 quick phone calls. Can you please help jump into the conversation? Let him know I'll be there in an hour or 2 or whatever it is. And I just, not that I delegated, but I kind of had to push it off to the other people, and then literally flipped my mind to, not that I didn't think about it, but straight into the presentation and smile, energy, all in. Now, don't get me wrong. When you're done with some of that, you're exhausted because emotionally it's hard. And then of course you're thinking about it, but I'm not expressing it.
Right.
Like almost, how dare I not, give my best to somebody that's expecting that. So, and while I'm sure they'd be understanding that, oh my God, your son, and sure, but at the end of the day, everyone's paying for a service or a value, and we have to deliver. Right? Or if we're making a sale, we got to go do our best to do it.
Right.
So I have that ability for some reason. I don't know how. It's hard. Maybe it's just part of the emotional intelligence thing we talk about, but I can like flip the switch and go into on mode. But don't get me wrong. When I'm off mode again, it's going to impact me.
Sure.
I got to absorb it all.
Right.
So I think we need to just learn that in just day-to-day stuff. Like when your kid calls and he's like freaking out or something from school, and yet you're trying to work, and you're the boss or whoever's on you.
So the question is, because a lot of us are dealing with this work balance thing, and a lot of us are still home still.
Yeah.
You got the kid flipping about school, and you're trying to do a Zoom. The question is, what do you do? How do you compartmentalize that? What I'm hearing from you is you deal with the kid and then you deal with the work. It's very hard, or you deal with the work and then you deal with the kid. It's very hard to be like, oh, hold on a second, Joe. Hey, the kids. All right. Oh, hey, back.
Right.
Like that is really hard to do.
Yes.
That's not simplifying your life. That's clutter and cluster and
it's very
aggravation.
Difficult. And we do have, we even have clients that are in that role too, where they have kids at home.
Yes.
But I think we've come to a point now of even acceptance too. Like I'm not getting that. Like if we were sitting here right now and my kid just walked into the studio,
it wouldn't be like,
I'd be like, hey, come on in. Like, it's just almost acceptance. You're So, but I do understand that you got to stop the problem real quick and then go back all in. You can't do both, right? I see people doing both, like for a half hour. I'm like, okay, can we just
focus?
Can we move on? Like, want me to play back?
That's the frustrating thing. And I think that's a little nugget to take away from here is if you can learn to look at kind of like the chaos that might be in our lives, like the unexpected call, the kids that are at home, all these things, how do we balance it? Well, the balance would be, the simplify would be to truly be with one and then be able to be with the other.
Right.
And if that's not if it's not able, if you're not able to do that in the moment, then you learn from whatever went wrong and then try, because it's stressful.
Yeah. And it's not perfect. It's not always going to work that way.
I see it at home with my own husband, who is, he's like a high level executive who has now had work in healthcare. He's had to work from home for the last year.
Yeah.
I still can't believe it. And my son is 5. And he's a pain in the ass, and I love him to death, obviously, but he's now home screaming while my husband's. So what we had to do was make him an office with a door that closed, that he could be private. We never had a home office before this.
Don't touch.
Now we have a home office. The playroom.
Yeah.
There's no longer.
No more playroom.
No playroom.
No playroom for you.
But that's how we had to simplify our life. So my husband could have peace and work. And now so like if you see daddy's door is shut, obviously it's because he needs quiet, like he's on an important call.
That's
So
right.
those are the changes you make to simplify your life. Some things have to get sacrificed as the playroom is done, but now we're doing our basement over.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like
Somebody's-
that's what happens.
Or somebody's going to get really sacrificed.
Exactly. But that's where you go with that.
So, all right. So let's move on to, let's talk about, I think one of the other things that needs simplified,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of confusion right now. There's a lot of noise.
Yes,
Simplifying our message,
definitely.
like what we do, how we do it.
Mhm.
There's so much confusion. People might make things complicated.
Definitely. And I think that's, again, another repercussion of last year. We, we used to do this and now we do that. And so let's take a moment and ask yourself, okay? I want everyone out there to ask themselves, like, what is your message, first of all?
Yeah.
Like redefining your who, and better yet, your what. What are you doing in your business? Like, what is your purpose? Who is your target audience? Who do you want to attract? Where are you looking to make your money? I think asking the W questions over now is a great time to do that, to simplify, to reevaluate, to reconnect with your office as this like clean slate in January.
Yeah. Even just redefining, making sure people are very clear on their roles.
Absolutely.
We had a really great scenario. It was a great turn of events. We had this executive sales manager. Some people have titles that really sometimes mean one thing, but they're also overlapping into others. And
Right.
The real job at the end of the day was corporate sales. It was
Right.
selling
Right.
product.
Right.
But because somebody had this title that maybe said manager or this or that and had like 3 different roles, once this person said, and this was, she actually said it herself. She goes, once I realized that I'm really just in sales. I mean, I know I manage other things and have a higher role responsibility, but sales is the number one thing I got to do. When she acknowledged that, she was, the turn of this person's personality and mindset, she wasn't struggling with what her job was anymore.
Right.
She had to go out and make sure she had created new accounts, new revenue, and that was her main focus. While she still managed stuff, sales was the clarity. I guess she was fighting, like, do I really need to sell? I don't know if I want to sell. No, you're in sales. And that was the core role. The title stayed.
Right.
So it was amazing to see such a turn of a person.
How
by
funny
doing
is that? Just simply
Clarification.
clarifying what she does in her role. I mean, I think that really raises a good point. A lot of people, when they get hired, or a lot of people who are doing the hiring, I think reevaluating and looking at your staff, looking at your employees and say, I think we need to talk about roles here and really being concise on what you're doing. Because I can tell you sometimes you and we just had this discussion,
We did.
like talking. Okay, let's just go back and let's just redefine what I need to do. What do I need to nurture in this role?
That's right.
And it is very helpful to the employer and the employee because it sets me up for success.
That's right.
And then
Gives
return
direction.
sets you up for success.
Yeah.
And that direction is needed. And a lot of you out there might not be thinking that that's important, but to simplify your office to help you become more organized and more successful is redefine your roles of who you're working with and yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the simplicity of it, well, you keep using this word.
Right,
It's like
exactly.
crazy. I can't stop
Right?
saying it. But so so this morning we were working with a team that had a new member join them.
Right.
And if you look at when you're new to the role, there's so many things you got to do. It's overwhelming as hell.
Right.
There's like a whole 30-day ramp up.
Yeah.
So when we were talking to this gentleman, he has such a great personality. I said, let me help you make this easy.
Mhm.
If you could just go get 1 appointment a day, like all this stuff you got to do.
Right.
But if you just looked at your calendar and said, I just need 1 appointment a day, and that would fix a lot of problems,
Mhm.
just work on that.
Was he like,
He was like,
that's brilliant.
well, I said, well, he's like, that makes it a lot easier.
Right.
Because you still have to do all these,
Yeah.
but understand your core day needs to have 1 new appointment with 1 new client. And for that person's role, that would make all the difference in the world
Mhm.
because most people never do that in the beginning, 30,
Right.
60, 90 days.
Right.
So if we didn't make it simpler, I could tell. I looked at the sheet of things he had to do in the first 30 days of just onboarding, and I was overwhelmed. I'm like, holy crap, there's a lot of stuff in
there's
here.
a lot, right?
I could see getting stuck just on number 3.
Right,
Like I'm not
right,
I'm
and then done.
Done. I'm tapping out.
Where
I'm
am
gonna
I
go stare
going?
at social media for a while. And
Yeah.
just
Scroll.
I'm gonna scroll. I'm gonna scroll drama.
Yeah.
So yes, so that it's the awareness of that. So I'm starting to use it in my day to day by just trying to get all this crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just give you like the one thing. What's the one important thing today you got to get done?
Right, exactly.
So
And we lose. Hey, listen, it's hard when you're the word focus. We say it a lot in my house, but you lose your focus sometimes. And I think that's another great thing about a January, about a newness of a new year is, refocus, getting on that right plan, path. I think the work, being concise about what I'm supposed to be doing, it does really help when it comes to goal setting.
yeah,
We talked a little bit on our last show about we talk about intentions rather than, resolutions.
resolutions.
The
Oh
resolution.
gosh, yeah, resolutions.
And so when you're looking at being, clear and having an intention for this year, I think it starts really with that concise of what I'm doing and having that, path set ahead.
Yep. What else could be simplified in your day? I mean, when it comes to being home,
Oh, well, I can tell you straight
like,
up, Jeff, dinner.
I was just gonna say dinner. Like, holy crap, when you
right.
go home, as soon as I said go home.
This seems ridiculous, but every single sales professional out there, every single marketing guy, every single woman out there who is working, someone's got to come home and cook. Whether you are a good cook if you're a female or if you're a good cook a male, doesn't matter, gender, sex, whatever. Someone's cooking dinner.
Someone's cooking.
Or you're ordering dinner.
Or you're ordering.
But you can't tell me listening right now this isn't an issue in your home.
100%.
What's for dinner?
Guilty as charged. Last night,
What's for dinner, Jeff?
and this is my, like, I dread that call.
Yes.
Or who's going to call who first? And we, unfortunately, we're late eaters.
Okay.
I don't love eating late. It's not healthy to eat late,
But
our lives are just late.
right.
So-
Late, like you're like 8 o'clock eaters.
Like 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And I know, like
That's late.
like we have a guest over or something, and we're like, "What time are you
You're
dinner,
hungry.
Mr.
You're
Love?"
hungry.
Dude, I gotta have a snack or something, man. Like I ain't got to. So I mean, yes, because and a lot of times because we have moving parts with sports or who does
Right,
something. So we
sure.
try and eat when everyone's back.
Right. But right now,
What's for dinner?
what's for dinner is the hot button item.
Nightmare words. I don't want to hear.
Causes fights between spouses
Yes.
because we're working, we're tired, we've got kids, we don't have kids. It's constant. So I was saying to Jeff, like, it's so relatable out there that you're all listening to this and going, oh my God, what do we do? I'm going to offer up some suggestions and take them or leave them. But when it comes to a lot of people now are on the health kick, which is awesome. But a lot of people don't like, the thought of cooking everything on a Sunday for the week. Some people love doing that, getting your meals set for the week. That stresses me out because I feel like, oh my God, there's so much to buy and I got to do this. Meal prep, that's the word.
Meal prep. Yeah.
So if you're a meal prep person, awesome, because it really does work for meal prep people. They get their week
It's great.
all set
Looks
out.
great too.
It
I've seen
looks
the- oh
so
my God,
good in the
so
little containers.
Yeah.
If you're not a meal prep person like myself, however, you still want to be healthy and you don't want to talk about what goddamn is for dinner for every night, then Sundays is a great day to discuss the communication with your spouse about the week. So, and if you're not going to cook it all, that's fine. But the discussion starts Sunday.
It wouldn't even be, I mean, we're thinking through this too. It wouldn't even be bad to have, like I said, if you had the conversation. I think my biggest challenge with dinner or cooking dinner or helping with cooking dinner or however we do it, sometimes we get the kids
Right.
to cook, is to me is availability.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning if it's not available in the house
Well,
or
no,
it's there already,
I agree.
then I'll eat like crap.
Right.
I'll go down, I'll just, whatever we got.
Ramen, mac and cheese, whatever.
Whatever the kids
Stupid,
need to. So
stupid.
to me, it's availability.
Right.
So it's preparing, I guess, on that front end of what do we need?
Right. It's the discussion.
Right.
It's the communication. It's opening it up with the people in your home, or if you live alone, yourself saying, okay, how do I get prepared? And do I feel like prepping all day Sunday? Okay, I don't. Well, then let's have the talk. My husband and I will say, okay, what do you want to do this week for dinner? Now it's an annoying topic to have, but I'd rather have it on Sunday.
On Sunday,
rather than every night. Like I
Yeah.
can't, it drives me crazy. So on Sunday we'll say, okay, let's cook a pot of sauce, and then maybe we'll crock a chili.
Yep.
And then maybe, okay, someone's going to want chicken. So then the unfortunate trip to the food store has to happen.
Yeah, I'm usually that guy.
Right.
I
So
do.
my
I was there
husband
last
does
night.
it.
I did it last night.
And so he's the guy too, because I hate it so much.
Yep.
And then if that's the case, you shop and you get prepared. And if you're like, my family, we both cook because, this is how it goes.
Yeah. So welcome to today.
Exactly. Like
Somebody's gonna cook.
right. Exactly.
It's you.
But it is one of those things to simplify for your life. It's not always going to happen. You're going to end up ordering pizza one night. It's fine. You're going to go through a drive-through once in a while. But when it comes down to it, it's just so stressful and so relatable.
So is it possible? And I'm really thinking this. Like it could be possible. Could we actually on a Sunday put together a weekly menu?
Definitely.
And I say that not like to be some organized, like I'm going to be this like chef and cook.
Right.
But I've got some, like I can almost delegate this to a few kids that really like cooking. I got to feel like, but what if I just said, here's what we're going to cook this week. So I know it's available. So I know it's in the house.
Yes.
Like if it's in the house, we at least know, it's chicken tonight.
Yes.
We're doing chicken.
Yes.
Get that baby out to frost it. So
Absolutely.
at least I know, because that's half the battle is knowing what we're going to do, knowing then do we have it?
Yes.
So I'm saying a menu, like you don't have to be a chef and put all the
No,
ingredients
but
together.
why
I'm just
not?
saying
But
spell that baby out.
We're talking about plans in place for our, calendars. Why not have a plan in place for mealtime?
Yeah, I think
because
I have
it
to go
really does happen that we work all day, or even like, the moms who are home, who are staying home with their kids, like it's still very frustrating at night to go, oh, I'm exhausted. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Have it planned out. And I'm going to challenge both of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew we were going there. Yeah.
I'm going to challenge you.
Yep.
And I'm going to challenge
We're gonna
myself
come
as
up with
well.
our schedules.
And
yeah.
I want to
We're
see,
scheduling, baby.
I want to see our menu.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're not chefs,
No.
but if I say, okay, we're going to do like Taco Tuesday,
Taco Tuesday.
and we're going to have like chicken on Wednesday, pork chops, like try to figure it out.
Yep. And then
are we
have
less
it?
stressed?
Yes.
Are
okay.
we less stressed by
Okay.
the end of the week
Okay.
with the dinner time? Because if we can simplify our lives
Yep.
and take away the dinner time argument.
It's the What's for Dinner challenge right now.
What's for dinner? Hashtag
What's for dinner. This is it. We're going to do it because this is my look. We all have our weakness, right? That's mine. That's my vice. And
Same, man.
I dread those three words.
Aggravating. It's a fight.
Yeah, and I think I got some kids that could delegate this too. So
You got a few. I think you got a
well,
few kids.
and then you think about maybe you're the solo person, but think about it. I was even thinking like, what if I was just single? Like, and I
Right.
know a lot of friends that are single, and they still come home if there's not. They don't really want to cook either sometimes. So
and
they
I'm
order
sure they're
out,
ordering and spending more money.
or they
of
go,
course.
oh, I don't feel like doing this, and
And don't
then
eat.
they're doing something crap or
Right.
eating like
Cereal.
So I think it's the same problem.
Yes.
No matter how
universal.
many
It's
gaggle of kids you
universal.
have or don't have. Yeah,
It's universal.
right. It is.
So let's see if folks out there, if you come up with a really good idea, we would love to hear it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
We
Like,
would love to hear
Share that baby.
what your thoughts are. But honestly, I feel like the hashtag What's for Dinner.
Hashtag What's for
Let's
Dinner.
get our menu going.
Yeah.
And let's see, if
That would save.
It would
That would just
take
make
stress
nights
away.
better. Let's face it. End of the day, like yesterday was a day.
You're
like yesterday
tired,
was
man.
a day. I was.
you're
burnt
working all
last night.
day, you're tired. You don't want to deal with it.
No. I
But
don't.
if you knew it was done, getting done, or at least you had the plan in place,
Mhm.
it wouldn't be as stressful.
No.
And let's face it, you wouldn't be hungry
That's true. I won't be hungry either.
because that sucks too.
And then I can actually get some other
Coming
stuff done. that I'm
home
gonna do.
being hungry,
Yeah,
and
hangry.
hangry. right? We have many hangry moments in my house.
Yeah, then
Watch
I
out
get-
when mommy's
Well, then I
hungry.
get stupid about it. Like then we just become off the rails with
Yeah.
our health and everything else. It just becomes
It's a
shit-
spiral.
shit
It's
show.
a down, right? So let's fix this.
Oh, we're gonna fix that.
All
All right. So
Where are we at?
all right, we still have to. We only got a few minutes left here.
All right.
So, we talked about not making
No resolutions.
Resolutions.
We're gonna
So,
do the
but-
unresolution
but we still.
section.
I love the idea of a word. though,
Yes.
Right. I love the idea of a
Yeah,
word.
we're gonna close with word.
So I think we need to close with our words. You want to go first?
Sure.
Yeah, go first. What's your word
Um.
and why?
Well, with much thought, my word is consistency.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because I thought of the word grace and I thought of the word, focus, but for me, consistency with following up on my health, consistency with some projects that I've started, consistency with following up on, I would say the gremlins that follow me with things that I just put off,
Yeah.
and fighting those things and dealing with those things. But I can't get the word out of my head, consistent. Why can't you be consistent? You're a life coach. You're a certified life coach. You're a mom. You run a household. You have a job. I'm going to prove myself wrong.
The struggle's real.
I want to become
That's a
more
great word.
consistent with my goals. I am a goal setter, and I want to hold myself accountable. But in order to do that, the magic word is being consistent.
Great one. Good one.
So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, I love this exercise too, because it really makes you think, right?
It
The whole
sure
process
does. No,
is thinking.
every time I went away from this word, came back. And that's when I said to myself, this is obviously my word. I have to learn consistency, and can I do it? You know, I love a good challenge. And honestly, you know, we've all been through a lot in our lives. And I love looking what I've overcome already. Like anytime I'm just stuck and done and don't feel I can, I always say, you've been through worse.
Yeah.
And it does help me because I go to a moment where I go, God, I got through that. I can do this.
Yeah.
So the word consistent helps me with that, because I think, oh, how am I going to, well, wait, I've been through worse. I can do this. I can be consistent with these things that are lined up. So that's my word, Jeff.
It's a good one. So I thought hard on mine. I was like, okay, lots of good words. And I'm staring at mine because it's over on the wall over there too. So I'm using the word stop, which sounds like a negative connotation, like stop. But to me, stop is pretty powerful. So when I look at stop, I've always kind of hung my hat on stop waiting. Stop waiting for things to happen. Stop overthinking. Stop, the negativity of reading people's stuff. Stop caring about what people think about you. Stop.
Which is hard
So
to do.
it's a stop with a lot. And what I'm doing now, and as I created my little whiteboard over there, you can't see it, but it's over there.
I see it.
And every time I think of something that I need to stop, I'm jotting it down. So I just framed out the word stop, and all around it, I'm just writing things that have to stop. And it could be stop working with people who don't want to try. Like stop working with some people who don't want to at least give 100%.
Right.
So I'm getting those stops
Right.
to a lot of things in a positive way.
Right. The positive
So-
spin on stop. I love it.
Yeah. So it's a positive spin on stop. So that's kind of my word. It's going to evolve. And if you guys have words to share them.
Yes, I would love. I love hearing people's words and their whys to their words. I think it's another great little exercise, maybe for your office, to help with some bonding in the new year. Is ask people what's your word.
It's your word.
Sit and think on it.
And it's about the why of the word, right? Like,
Absolutely.
why is the word? So the word's cool, but it's all the evolution. So now every day I'm thinking about stop. Not
why?
stop this, stop that. So stop procrastinating. Stop. It'll keep going, right?
Right.
All right. So listen, it's a great wrap. I hope there's a bunch of nuggets for you. I think we have some of our own challenges.
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
Yes.
What's for dinner challenge
Yeah.
we got going.
We got it.
So we're excited to see you guys on the next episode. If you want to reach out, email breakingbalance@sparktankmedia.com. Jeff Lobb here, Nikki Brandt, reach out to us on social, however you want to meet up. And we'll see you guys on the next one.